Belly Baby Love?
Now everything should be live.
Okay, yay. Alright, so if you refresh both of those.
It might take a little bit for it to show up as 11. Okay, we should be live on all channels now. Please speak up in the chat if you can hear us and see us.
Okay. Yes. I think you have to oh no, you need room. I keep forgetting. I want to be like this with you. I keep forgetting. Oh, we need to center. What are we doing? This way?
So the mic should be running between both.
Oh, I see.
You're the one speaking.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Where to sit.
Okay, so are we testing all 4 channels?
Yeah.
Testing, still testing. If you're out in any of our channels, please. I love when people screenshot. How cute is that when people screenshot? That's fun. So maybe on each channel, if you're on YouTube, say something. If you're on Facebook, Belly Baby Love, Tyopan, just so we know everything's working. Yes, you can hear and see. Okay, I think so. It looks good, I think. Are we good, you guys? Vivian, on both channels? And YouTube, good?
Yeah, everything should be good.
Okay, technical difficulties. Hello. I am Anna Bradnt, and this is Kimberly Winters. And we are bringing to you our 3rd Q&A in a row, 3 straight weeks of Q&A. And we can't do it every single week, but we were kind of on a roll, so we just kept going. We will definitely do more, just not every single week. Maybe once or twice a month or something. But your questions fuel my Q&A. And so I get so many messages from around the world. It's amazing. At almost every single day, I think I probably hear, I don't know, maybe at least 20 different countries every single day. It's crazy. It's so mind-blowing to me. And what's so fascinating is it's all in a quest for knowledge. And so that's what fuels my fire, is because, you know, I've said before, I've grown up with women who teach. And so I was raised to teach. And if someone has a question, you just answer them. And every question you send me literally fuels our Q&A, especially when I see the same question over and over again. And it's challenging in social media because we have so many different outlets and channels for people to find me. And I can't answer every single person. So just about every day I get an email, and then I'll get an Instagram direct message, and then someone will post on the YouTube channel, and then someone will post in Facebook and in my learning center, and they'll all be asking the same questions. And it usually definitely goes in waves. So right now, the questions that I'm getting over and over again are on equipment, hardware, supplies, tools, gear. And so, gosh, every time I post a picture, what camera are you using? What lens are you using? And I want to answer one of the biggest questions that I get the most, which is, you're using light. Is light going to hurt baby's eyes? So we want to address all of those questions. Keep in mind that, we are streaming to 4 different, media channels. We will save the video, cut it, and re-upload it on the YouTube page, annabradtvideos.com, to stay there forever. And we have Google communities that, I see a lot of people posting in too. So all of that will stay up there. But right now, if you're in any of these outlets, whether you're watching me on YouTube or in a Facebook group or on my page, go ahead and post a question. Vivian, our social media assistant, is monitoring both of those areas. Alex, are you monitoring YouTube? Alex are you monitoring YouTube?
Yes.
So Alex is monitoring YouTube, and Vivian is monitoring the Facebook group in Tyopan and Facebook Belly Baby Love. Vivian is my new social media assistant. We're extremely excited to have her. She's going to make my life so much easier, and hopefully be able to answer all of the questions that come in and just kind of help fuel our teaching and our travels for the next year. Kimberly, awesome that she's back. We have a fan on her. We're sitting. We have cool air. So So hopefully we'll keep her moving quite along. But Ava came to me and said she wanted to learn sign language.
Really?
Oh, Ava. I didn't think she come here. So she says, Mom, let's take a sign language class. Yeah, she said that to me. Ava, come here. What did you say you wanted to do the other day?
Get my nails painted.
What else?
Learn sign language.
Yes. And so have you met Kimberly? So come here. Say hi to everybody. Come sit. This is Ava, my third. This is Kimberly. Do you know any sign language at all? Why did you say you wanted to learn sign language? Where did that come from?
Oh, because my teacher was doing sign language to a song that we did in youth group, and it was really cool, and it looked cool.
Oh, and so, you know, she is interpreting for me.
I know.
You know that.
Yeah.
So do you know anything? Let's see what you got.
AVA.
Oh, her name.
A-B-A.
Oh,
Okay.
A.
I thought I could do the alphabet at one time. Is that right?
Close.
H-I-J-K-L-M-N-O. What's P? 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 What's Q? 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 R?
That's when
Shoot,
I have to go to the bathroom.
All right, we're gonna go. She says that's our bathroom sign. This is your bathroom sign?
Here.
Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna take a course together, right? You and me? Let's do it. Okay. Okay.
Just let me know when you want me to tell you questions.
Oh, yeah, in a second. We have a couple of things we have to do right away. Those of you who may or may not have heard, Belly Baby Beyond 2018 is coming back in 2018, in May, at the Paseo Hotel in Huntington Beach. If you joined us last month in Newport Beach, we had an amazing time. Speakers, the students, they were fabulous. What I loved about it, it was just more intimate and cozy. I've said before, I'm not looking to have the world's largest photography event. It's not my purpose. My purpose is to bring together like-minded people. That's it. Do it at the beach, have some drinks, learn, be inspired, get educated, and have a good time. That's it. That's all I want to do. I think we need to enjoy life. We need to have fun. And if you're always working, you're always editing, you're sitting behind a computer by yourself in midnight and one, and you don't really make friends, and you don't really get out, and you can feel really just alone and defeated. And you need to just get out of your house. You know, when I was growing up, my parents used to say, you got to get out of your house and go to church. You don't necessarily have to go to church, but you just need to get out of your house because you always feel better when you come back from church. And we used to complain and complain and complain. Like, I don't want to go to church. I want to sleep in. And we always felt like this church was like this thing you had to go to, this specific building church. And then my dad used to say, it's not the church. It's the people. The people make the church. And so your church could be in a field, your church could be in a barn, your church could be in someone's living room. That's your church. Your people that lift you up and make you feel better. So our people are getting back together in May of 2018. Today is the last day to save $100 off of the fee. It ends at midnight. And then you still can sign up. The first 150 people get a free night's stay at the hotel. So that's not run out yet. You can still get that. It's just tonight ends the $100 savings. And tomorrow starts our affiliate program. So the affiliates get $100 for every person that they get to sign up, which is pretty good. 10 people, you get $1,000. So that's like your ticket. So stay tuned for rolling out the affiliate program this weekend. And so we were giving away a seat at the last event last month. And the event was so crazy. I didn't like sleep or eat for 3 days. And it took a while to recover, and I just never gave the seat away. And I kept saying, I'm going to give it away. And I also have 3 White House coupons to give away. And so I have the attendee list, and everybody is numbered on this list. So Alex is going to give me a number. I'm going to pick the number, and we're going to announce the winner. The person who I announce, you won your free seat to the May 2017 event, which you've already had. So you'll have a choice. You can either apply it to the May 2018 event or ask for a refund of your May 2017. It's up to you. So drum roll.
What's the total number?
No, you're supposed to know that.
I don't have any.
I specifically said I'm not saying that on the air.
I can't generate.
You ready?
And am I telling you the number? Or
Yeah, just give me. You're doing a random number.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit it 10 times and then.
Oh, because there's randomgenerator.org.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, you're gonna hit the
gonna generate
generator
it
10 times, and the 10th one is the winner. Okay. So you're saying you have a bunch of questions, Vivian?
Yeah, I have one. It's like, what is your opinion? Should a photographer charge less if he or she doesn't have a studio and does everything on location or on in client's house?
Okay, hold that question. Okay, the number is
And the number is 38.
38. Hannah Romo Garza. Oh, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hannnya. Romo Garza. You won your free ticket. So if you're not listening, we'll contact you. I should get a pen. Ava, get a pen and write that down. And then I have 3 White House things to give away, so I need 3 more numbers. I need a pen, honey, or a highlighter, please. So 3 numbers, Alex.
Oh, 3 more numbers?
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
Next number is 7.
7 is Andrea Bednar. You won 75 cards. 75 press cards from White House. Gracias. Okay, so hold on one second. The first one was Hannah. Okay, the number was 7. Okay. Okay, next number.
Next number is 71.
71. Laura Lowe won a wall display item up to 20 by 30 from White House. That's kind of cool. Very cool. And one more number.
What's the prize?
Oh, it's also a wall display up to 20 by 30.
41.
Did you say the last number was 70?
71.
I picked number 70.
Oh. Well, they don't,
So then-
they don't know who it was.
They don't get, yeah, I said the name already.
Yeah,
So don't give me the other number.
Oh, okay.
I'll give 71. So Laura Lowe and Laurel Herzog. Laurel Herzog and Laura Lowe both won wall display. Okay, yay, finally, that's done. Okay, so we are going to talk today about equipment, gear, tools, and all of that thing. I'm going to answer a couple of quick questions that are coming in. So I think the question, Vivian, if I understand it, was, should you charge more or less if you're working on location versus being in a studio?
Please charge less if he or she doesn't have a studio and does everything on location or in client's house.
Okay, so this isn't a pricing Q&A. So I definitely don't want to go into pricing today. But I do want to say that the only thing I'm going to say about pricing right now is that your pricing has to be based on your cost of doing business, your experience, your training. It can't just be picking a number out of the sky. Whether you work solely on location or whether you work in a studio, to me really doesn't matter so much, except for that the expenses may be different. But you know, most wedding photographers don't have a studio and work out of their home and just go and shoot weddings and destination, and they're going to charge, you know, premium dollar amounts. So when it comes to portrait photography, you don't necessarily have to say, well, I'm working out of my home, so I'm going to charge nothing. She has a studio. Because I have to be honest with you, I worked out of my home and I had a pretty good rate. And then I went into my studio and I'm pretty sure I kept a similar rate for a while until I started upping my expenses and adding employees, and my cost of doing business went higher. And experience matters, knowledge matters, work matters, costs matter, location, geography. There is no one, I wish there was like this magic number that you could apply, but it definitely requires analytics. If you're a member of PPA, they have so many fabulous ways of tool calculators and things like that for learning pricing. PPA is Professional Photographers Association, and I speak at a lot of affiliates, and I recently spoke at affiliate in Arizona. And I have to tell you, PPA has some of the best speakers and teachers in the world that are part of PPA and teach at PPA affiliate programs. The cost to go to a PPA affiliate meeting is nothing. It's barely anything. It's pretty much less than most of the props you're buying, and you're meeting with some of the best educators in the industry that can help you and mentor you. When I was in Arizona, the PPA affiliate program, they have like a free mentoring program. And I was amazed. The dues are so inexpensive. And I have to tell you, as someone who's been around in the industry a long time, I'm so sad to see that there's not enough younger, newer generation photographers going to these affiliate meetings, because they're so important. The leaders in those meetings, the ones that are running the show, the ones that are hiring speakers like me and other speakers, are some of the best in the business. You know, Jerry Gahonis is an amazing, I think he's like top 5 wedding photographers in the world. I was fortunate enough to be in a wedding a couple years ago in Italy, and he was the photographer. And being a bridesmaid in a wedding in Italy on a rooftop with Jerry Gahonis shooting it is a memory I will never, ever forget. And you know, I remember later that year he was speaking at one of our PPA affiliate meetings local here in California, and I wasn't able to go for some reason, but the cost to see him was so little. And I just was thinking, gosh, people don't know what they're missing. These are the people that you want to follow as the leaders in the industry, the leaders that have been around a really long time, that when you go to the events, they're wearing all the gold bars down their neck, the ones that have entered print competition, the ones that have endured the economy. Those are the ones that you want training from for pricing and education and all of that. So definitely look into that. Okay. How are we doing? All right. So we are going to talk equipment. Every single day, somebody says, what camera do you use and what lens do you use? So let's start there, okay? I have my camera here, and it is a 5D Mark III, okay? I have not upgraded to the Mark IV yet. I really want to. I really need to, but there's a lot of other things to spend my money on. And I'm not one of those people that runs out and gets the latest equipment. This thing will die before I will get the Mark IV. I need it. I really do, because it's definitely worn itself. It went to get repaired by Canon last year, and it was like $700 to repair this guy. Just because it's the, what is it, the impressions, or what is the, there's a calculation of, you know, how many exposures you've taken, and my number is really, really high. So after a while, you know, you keep getting it refurbished. I should get a Mark IV, and I need to get one. Or, I don't know, I've seen a lot of other cameras out there that have enticed me, like some medium format cameras that have my eye. So I don't know what I'm going to upgrade to next. But I got to tell you, this camera fell off this ottoman the other day, and it's fine, and it's endured some scratches and bumps. I fell off a ladder 2 years ago and got a concussion, and this camera came down with me. So it's a workhorse. The 2 lenses that I use the most, this is a Sigma 35 millimeter lens, okay? And I do have a Canon somewhere, 50 millimeter. I have no idea where it is, but this is a little 35 millimeter 1.4 lens. And what I love about the Sigma is they're nice and small and little and tack sharp, and you can just get beautiful shallow depth of field. I do like having a fixed lens, but if someone were to say, pick one between the 24-70 and the Canon 24-70, this is a USM 2 lens. Someone were to say, pick this one or this one, I would pick this one, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? And this one, it's like rattling. This one's had a lot of tear as well. I'm looking at some other lenses, but here's the thing: the 24-70 has a range. So when I say range, it moves. So see, there's a range, 24-70. A fixed does not move. Okay, so the person that moves is you with a fixed. So whether you have a 35, a 50, an 85, a 135, you're the one moving. Okay, lens is not moving, so it's a fixed lens. When you have a range, whether it's this or I also have the 70-200 that I've discovered last night, I absolutely am not a big fan of my 70-200 because to me it's very heavy. I was using it at my daughter's dance recital last night and it was heavy. But here's the thing. is the range. What is the definition of a range? It's a range. So what I love about the 24 to 70 is I can go in close on baby and I can pull out. I can shoot baby alone and then get the toddler in and focus on children and baby. Then I could jump to family. So I need that range. So if someone said, Anna, I'm going to Malaysia next year, which I am, and you can only bring one lens, I would just bring my 24 to 70. In fact, most of my workshops, if you're in a workshop of mine, you'll see that many times I don't even have my 35 millimeter because especially when I'm going international, I try to keep as little gear as humanly possible with me. And I will throw my camera in a bag with one lens and that's it. There's nothing else. And so, because I shoot pregnancy, newborn, children, and family, I need a range. And so I shoot very fast. I need something fast and something sharp. When I'm shooting children, the newborns, I'm also shooting children and family. And so to me, my purpose, I need a range. Now, I love the 35 millimeter because the depth of field is beautiful and it just makes baby so dreamy. And I will do that with baby solo. This morning, I had a beautiful baby girl. She was tiny, 5.5 pounds. And I was constantly switching lenses because on the beanbag, she was just so little. I wanted beautiful shallow depth of fields, but then we put her in a wreath. And to get the height of me standing up and trying to shoot down in a wreath, I need that range so that 24 to 70 is going to help me. Otherwise, with a 35 or a 50, I have to get on a ladder, and it's just not safe when I'm with a newborn. Every time I'm on a ladder, my assistants are like holding me because I'm like standing on my tippy toes. I often go on a ladder for newborn with parents, but I try not to go on a ladder with newborns, and the reason is we have very slippery hardwood floors. I'm telling you, I have scars from a concussion. We have a cleaning service, and I think they wax the floors. And there are so many times in here we've slipped, kids have slipped, and I've already fallen off a ladder once. I don't want to risk that falling over a baby. The thought, I couldn't even. So to me, I would much rather just have a range that I can stand shooting and not have to worry about getting on a ladder. Now, whenever you have gear, you gotta, this wrist strap, I get more comments on this wrist strap than anything else. It is probably my third one, a cheap little wrist strap, neoprene from Amazon. So much so that I've been telling Alex for a year I'm going to make my own wrist straps because there's nothing attractive about this. And I actually bought the material to make my own wrist straps. True story. It's in a box in my room. But I need to be on a wrist strap because I hate anything on my neck. It drives me crazy. So, and I don't like anything on my waist. So I don't use anything on my waist. So I only use wrist straps. And, it's pretty strong. I keep an eye on it for wear and tear. You got to check your equipment. Every day when I go to shoot a baby or somebody, I always will shoot away from the baby. Why? I want to make sure my lens is on. I want to make sure that this is working because these can wear out. And what if your lens isn't tight and it falls? And this is a heavy piece of equipment. If this were to fall on a baby, it would hurt that baby really, really bad. So you've got to protect yourself. I don't want to see a photographer shooting without something. It's either around your wrist, on your neck, something. You just don't even think about taking that risk. It's just not worth it. Now, one of the questions I received was, I'm an aspiring photographer and would love a suggestion on what camera body and lens to upgrade without breaking the bank. There's so many options. This is the biggest thing. It's overwhelming. It's like trying to buy a TV. And I'm afraid of getting the wrong one. I have a Canon Rebel 2 Ti and I have a 50 millimeter. There's so many options. And I want a lens that has a longer range, for which I was considering a 24 to 70. So this is an example of the question I get all the time. And what I tell people is, so I was an amateur for a good 10 years, and Anna with a camera. I say it all the time. 19 to 29. I actually shot as a teenager, but when I say I was an amateur for 10 years, it's because from my brothers started having babies pretty quickly, and I'm the youngest of 5. So by 19, I was already an aunt. And so I spent 10 years photographing my nieces and nephews who are now getting married and graduating college and buying houses. But all used gear, guys. Nothing new. Nothing. I remember dating a guy before my husband, and his graduation gift was a brand new camera. And I remember I was in his room one time and I looked at this box and I'm like, is that a camera? And he was like, yeah, it's my graduation gift and I've never used it. And I remember running across the room like, oh my God, can I open it? I had never held a brand new camera and I was 25 years old. Never, okay? I had only used cameras. Inexpensive, cheap cameras. And he let me use his camera. And I was so devastated when we broke up. He didn't ask for his camera right away. But then one day he was like, knock, knock, knock. I need my camera back. That was worse than the breakup, just to give you an idea. But I will tell you that I'm not a believer in buying things brand new if you're starting out and you can't afford it. If you can afford it, great. Go for it. And we'll talk about that. If you can't afford it and you're starting out new, and there's so many scenarios. I hear all the time. I've heard it all. I've heard I'm married and my husband doesn't support this business yet and I'm on my own and I'm just going to gotta work and prove it to myself and make this money. So when you're in a situation like that, everything you spend is, what's the return of investment? That's what the husband or the partner is going to say. What's the return of investment? Then I've had married couples say, oh, my spouse, partner, whoever you're with, supports me 150%. And I've got an open bank account, open credit card. And they go and they buy everything. And then they're kind of sad and depressed because they've spent like $5,000 in equipment and nobody's calling them because they really have no idea what they're doing. And then I get the person that's like in between. Like they've got the support of their loved ones. Money's not flowing out like water, but we can spend when we need to. So we have some money. Where do we put it? We want to put it wisely. And I think that's the majority of the people. My advice is to buy used from a reputable dealer. I mean, I just bought Olivia, my daughter, a beautiful lens used for half the price. I probably did not buy new gear, I think, until I owned a studio. I think when I worked out of my house, everything was used from eBay. I was the eBay queen, and I bought everything used. Cameras, filters, oh gosh, lenses, bodies, you name it. And I see photographers selling their gear all the time. If you can get it from a reputable dealer and you can buy it used, that's my advice. My other advice is to rent equipment. If you're not sure what to use, there's so many great places, and we can post some sources that you can rent equipment and try it out. If you have to choose between a range and a fixed, my advice, if you're shooting more than just a still object like a newborn baby, is to have a range and then get the fixed. Because, and I do know some photographers that all they're doing is shooting newborn. But if you're never, but those photographers I ask, are you ever going to shoot children and family ever? Then you may want a range. And you can get this 24-70 USM2 gives gorgeous images. And so I'd say if you had to choose, save the fixed for later and do the range first. Now, as far as this person asking, I would tell her, yeah, I'd get the 24-70. And I would tell her if she could buy it used, buy it used. And then kind of, I grew up where, you had to sell to buy new, and you'd use things till they broke. And you would just be careful about your money. And I see, gosh, I didn't even buy a new camera bag for a really long time. I'm very careful about what I'm spending my money on, and so I would just say be careful with that. Now, another question that I get all the time is what, and if you're asking questions on any of the pages, I'll answer them. There's a lot? Okay, I'll get to them. I always get, what's on your camera? What's on your camera? What's on your camera? Alex, you're probably gonna have to give me a Pro Photo light. This trigger is a Pro Photo one, and it works directly with my lights. I only need this and my light that I'm going to show you. This, if you don't have Pro Photo lights, is a Pocket Wizard. If you don't have Pro Photo lights, Pro Photo, this is built in, okay? If you're using Alien B or Einstein or any other. I only know about Alien B, Einstein, Profoto lights. Those are the ones I use. So if you're using another brand, I don't know. But I will tell you that if you're using another brand besides Profoto, you need 2 of these. Now, this is both Pocket Wizards, different versions, different versions, but they both work the same. You need 1 on your light and 1 on your camera, and you need it to fire the lights, okay? 1 on your camera, 1 on your lights. If you have 2 lights, 1 light is a master, 1 light is a slave, okay? So if you don't have Profoto, 2 of these. If you do have Profoto, just this, because it's built in. This is the Profoto lights that I use. These are the B1s. They are cordless, which is what I love about them. The battery pack comes out, okay? We have 4 of these. We charge them up. I could stay all day on these, no problem. Where I blow through the batteries is on my backlighting. Then I can blow through 2 a session. But if I'm doing newborn or children or family, this battery will last me all day. What I love about this is I don't have to have any silver cone reflectors on it for my backlighting. It's built into the light. Obviously, it's cordless, and the wires, the sensor is built in to the light for this. So I don't need anything else besides this, and a light stand, and I'm on my way. Well, obviously, a modifier. So the modifiers that I use is I have a softbox and a big umbrella. And we'll show you the big umbrella in a little bit. And I just like nice soft light. Now, I'm going to answer probably the number 1 question that I get every single day is, does light hurt babies' eyes? Okay? And then I'll go to the questions that are coming in. As a photographer who's been around for 18 years, I can tell you that none of the babies that I have photographed, I believe, have been hurt by light. And there's a couple of theories that I have behind it. So first of all, I'm going to show you, I think this is, does it say the measurement? I think it's 83 inches. It's an XL. So this is from, but Alex, if I stand up, you're going to have to adjust the camera. So this, I'll stand up.
Are you gonna cover me?
Huh?
Are you gonna block me?
No, I'm going to go this way. She's like, are you going to hit me? Okay, so you can see the size, okay? See that? And I have a cover over it, okay? So it's just a good size. I could get rid of us completely. This is a good size. So I have the diffuser cover on it. Checking focus. So this cover goes on it, okay? It's like when you're in Gymboree and you're in that parachute class. Don't try to do this alone. It's like trying to make a bed alone. It's not possible. And this cover is going to go on it. Alex, do you want to get the other side? You could do by yourself? Wow, because you're amazing. Now, the other question I get is, do you face it in or do you face it out? Which way do you face it? And I gotta tell you, I've shot both ways. It's white, so it's white on both sides, right? I'm not using the black or the silver. There's, I believe, a black and a silver cover. I don't. Okay. A lot of people say they see a lot of photographers shoot this way, and I shoot it this way. Why? Because I like it. That's it. There's no other reason. I like the way the light looks. It's very soft. The great thing about this umbrella is you can use it either way. So you can use it this way, and you can use it the other way. Some people say the light is softer on one side, some people say the other. I, a while ago, actually shot it both ways. I did a workshop with Sabina Bradnt a couple years ago, and she used it one way, and I used it the other way. And I have her image next to my image, and it looks almost identical. So So many things matter with your lights. What kind of a building are you in? Do you have a lot of natural light that comes in? Or are you in a dark dungeon? Believe it or not, that does affect your light. Absolutely. The color of your walls is going to affect the light. I was in a black studio years ago, and holy cow, I would never do that again. It just like sucked in the light. I mean, it would take it down a step or two. Why? Because all my walls were black and it was just absorbing that light. White is reflective. So my studio now is white walls, and I don't have a lot of natural light coming in, but it gets pretty bright and airy. And so yes, my images are going to look different here versus in a dark dungeon. And as someone who travels, and I've used light all over the world, from Italy to France to Peru, I mean, you name it, I've been there, and you can give me the same light and put me there and it's going to look different than if I'm shooting here. So it does matter where you're shooting, what kind of area you're in, and then take your umbrella and turn it one way and turn it the other way. You're never directly pointing it at the subject. You're always feathering it anyway, and just experiment and have fun. As far as light affecting a baby's eyes, I'm not the person inventing these lights. I know in China, when I taught there, and I'm going back to China this fall, I'm going back in July, they only wanted natural light. And I believe when I'm going back, I'm only teaching natural light as well, because they were afraid that they say flashlight hurts a baby's eyes. Now, when I speak with a lot of international people, they always use the term flashlight. And I know they're talking about light, right? I don't ever use direct flash on a newborn baby. So I do have the flash that goes on top, the speed lights. I do have off-camera flash. I own 2 of them. I have no idea where they are. I think my assistant has them. So I used to for years. And people ask me all the time, do you ever do off-camera flash? Do you ever do on-camera flash? Oh my gosh. I think there was like 5 years where I couldn't leave home without my speed light. I was obsessed with my speed light. So much so that I would attach a battery pack to my hip, and I'd go to the beach and I'd have my speed light, my battery pack, my spare batteries. I would be like, the recycling time. It was all about the speed light. I decided I no longer wanted to really use the speed light, because if I'm on location, I want natural light. So I don't really use it that much. I keep it around just because. But I would never shoot directly at a baby with light pointing right towards the baby. So if I was using on-camera flash, I would probably bounce it off the ceiling. I would never have light hit the eyes directly. I don't know if you noticed, but Alex, we should measure the distance between the actual light source to like where the subject is. I think it's like 6 or 8 feet.
Right now?
Well, I mean, we should just think about it. I feel like I've measured it before, and if you take the actual bulb, anywhere from 6 to 8 feet. Yes. So until it hits the baby, and it's diffused lighting. And so, these lights have been around for generations. And if Profoto is making lights that hurt babies' eyes, I think they'd be out of business a long time ago. But it is a valid question, especially when you bring home this beautiful newborn baby that you've been wanting your whole life, and then you're taking to a photographer and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what if light is going to blind them? I know that I'd be completely freaked out. So when I work in the home, I do use natural light, and in my studio, there is never a light that's aiming directly in the eyes. Light is always feathered, it's off to the side, and it's always, always, always diffused. If you really have any questions or concerned about the power wattage and the light source and what's being transmitted, then definitely contact the light manufacturing company directly. I know there was some conversations about phones being too close to baby's face because you don't know if anything is being transmitted. I used to have white noise on my phone, and I used to leave it by the beanbag, and I stopped doing that because I didn't know. Here I have clients that have been around for like 14 years, and so I see them. They're living, breathing, beautiful eyes. I know that they haven't been injured by my lights. But honestly, with a phone, who knows 50 years from now if having a phone by a baby's head is going to affect them. So I chose to use the shusher, and I don't no longer put the phone near the baby's head for that reason alone. Okay, that was a lot. And all I did was talk about a camera, lens, and light. So we're gonna look out for some questions. Where do we want to start?
This question from Krista.
Okay.
She asked, do you have a list of reputable dealers?
Reputable dealers for Profoto?
Or she just asked for
Dealers. Okay, probably for buying equipment. I would respond to her and ask her reputable dealers for what? Buying equipment? But that's probably a really good question. Doesn't Borrow Lenses sell equipment, Alex? Borrow Lenses, I think you can borrow the lens, and then, if you search on like Canon refurbish, you can probably read the reviews. People are pretty good about, trying to find reputable dealers, whether it's Amazon or eBay. Always read the reviews. Always check the warranty. I wouldn't buy anything without a warranty. Local camera shops, they're still around. Use those. Check local groups. Anytime there's a question or a hesitation or you don't know where that source is, don't buy it. You know that feeling in your gut that you get when something's not right? Don't buy it. Okay, next question.
Questions coming in.
Okay.
Is the umbrella a continuous light, or does it go on when you take a photo?
Good question. It is not continuous. It is a strobe, which means it fires when the camera fires. So the question was, is it continuous light or not? It is not a continuous light. It is a strobe. The strobe fires when it's triggered by a response. Continuous light means it's always on. I have never used continuous light. Maybe, hot lights in college, I think, are considered continuous lights because they stay on. And I remember they were being very dangerous because they were so hot, and I almost burned my friend's place down. I didn't. But that kind of freaked me out when I used hot lights years ago. And so I do not use continuous lights. And I don't know enough about continuous lights. I know some people use them and love them. Love them. If you're just starting out and you need help, I cannot tell you too many times, take a workshop. You got to take a workshop. Take an in-person workshop. Take an online workshop. You got to learn. YouTube is obviously very helpful. I'm on YouTube. But when you're in person and you can touch and feel equipment and talk to the instructor, that's, to me, where you're going to get your best education from, in-person workshops. Okay, next question.
Okay. This question is from Miguel Escobedo.
Okay.
Do you think male newborn photographers have a bigger challenge in this field?
Okay, the question is, do male newborn photographers have a bigger challenge? I think yes and no. I know some amazing male photographers, amazing guys that are killing it, that are rocking it all over the world. I've met many, I've taught many. I love when men photographers come to see me. It's funny that people ask that because it was such a male-dominated society for so many years. There were no female newborn photographers. It was only male. There was a few, and Geddes being one of them, but when I started, most of the photographers were male, even with babies. And so I find it so fascinating when that question is asked, because I laugh and say, we worked so hard as women to get into this industry and be photographers, and I felt like I stepped into a male-dominated industry, and now we have so many women that the men are going, can I do this? Which I think is so ironic. Yeah, men can do it. As far as having a hard enough time, I think that as long as you're doing a great job. Look, I was in a shoot on location a couple weeks ago, and the mom's a doctor, and dad was stay-at-home dad, and he was amazing. He was rocking it. Brand new newborn toddler. She's like, yeah, he's a stay-at-home dad, and he's doing amazing. And mom was happy, dad was happy, the girls were amazing. And gosh, you know what I wish? I wish we could just get rid of all of the questions about sex and the color of our skin and the God we worship. I wish it could just be the person inside all of that. It's like the person that does the job should get the job. It really shouldn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl, who you sleep with, what God you worship. Just like, if you burned off all of our flesh, we're still the inside same in guts, right? Isn't that true? Right? The insides are the same. If you burned my flesh and your flesh, no one could tell whose ribs were who, right? And man and women, maybe you'd only be able to tell because maybe the men's were shaped a little bit differently. But I say no is my vote. I say that if I'm going to a session and it's a guy and he's amazing and he gets down to his knees and talks to my toddler eye level and connects with them, I'm all for it. You know, our pediatrician was a male for years, for 2 girls and a boy. And I remember kind of questioning, like, ooh, I have 2 daughters. Do I want a male pediatrician? And I only questioned it for like 1 second. I met him. He was amazing. And I knew when the time was right for my daughters to go to a female doctor, they would. And I kind of feel the same way about newborn photography. There's a ton of male birth photographers, Sports Illustrated, swimsuit. So yeah, I think that men, come on back out. I think we can all do it. And if we all practice safety and care, shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. My biggest thing with the newborn photographer, you got to be all knowing. You got to be about safety. You got to be about caring for that baby. You got to know your equipment. You got to be on it. This is a 7, 8, 9, 10-day newborn baby. This isn't a let me just play with a doll. This isn't let me do dress up with this baby that looks like a doll. This isn't playtime, story time. This isn't preschool. This is a brand new human being that was brought into this world, and it's a really big deal. You got to be insured. You got to be legal. You got to have a business. Don't just screw around and just be like, I want to be a photographer and then just shoot a newborn baby, and don't do all of those things. You know, when I was Aunt Anna for 10 years, I was just picking up my camera and just shooting for fun. The minute I said, I'm going to specialize in pregnancy and newborn, I registered my business, I became insured, I became legal, I started getting training, and I just went for it. I didn't just say, oh, let me just play with the newborn baby in my room and figure it out. No, you're too much risk. That's why I love Sandra Muffet and David. Now I just blanked on her husband. Sandra David, right? Brandon, oh my God, he's going to kill me. I do this all the time. I call Sandra's husband my brother. Brandon, if you're watching this, I have called you my brother so many times. Sandra and Brandon, they invented stand-in baby because it is a little doll that you can practice with and play with and practice your lighting and practice your posing. We should bring over a stand-in baby, Alex. That's why they invented this tool, so you have safety and you can practice the poses. It's the #1 reason, so that we don't have to risk newborn babies and put them at risk not knowing what we're doing. I'm going to show you what a stand-in baby is in a second. Okay, next question.
Next question is, I have a movie studio in my basement where there's no natural light. What would you recommend for lighting?
So I would definitely recommend, like, you can get away with just 1 light. You don't have to have 2 lights. I would recommend 2 lights. So the question was, they're working in a dark basement studio with no lighting. What?
No natural light.
No natural light. What light would I suggest? Oh, Alex, you gotta bring the case. You can't hold them like that. I would suggest, okay, so let's talk about the lighting. Let me get them, hold on. I used Alien Bee and Einstein for years. I know. For budget purposes, they were great lights on a budget. And then Pro Photo is great because it's professional and it's quality and durable. So one of the things I didn't really talk about was budget. Is you have to definitely, budget is like #1. How much money can you spend? And if you can only spend a couple of $100s, you have Alien Bee, you have Einstein. They are both great lights. You can get the umbrella for it. You can get a soft box for it. I was about to start patting the baby. I was gonna be like, and so you. I was like, I really feel like I should just do this. So that was. I think I answered that question. Okay, next question. This is stand-in baby. Have you seen these? You have?
Not in person.
Not in person? Oh, you need to hold one. Oh, you can't sign then. I have 3 babies. Let's see.
The head is heavy too.
It's heavy, right? Oh, aren't they so cute? They're so cute. Okay, she has to sign, so she can't hold a baby. But what's great about these babies, they are heavy. But what's great is everything moves, and you can really practice the posing. You know, you can really learn how to work with babies. You can go to standinbaby.com, and she has posing guides and videos. Look at the baby. She's a fabulous resource. She's also one of our educators at Belly Baby and Beyond. Her and Brandon are not only some of the nicest people I've ever met, but they're advocate for baby safety and education. And that's what we want. Look at that. Okay, next question. I know. Okay.
Next question.
Yes.
You kind of touched on this before, but Anna, do you recommend getting an Alien Bee, Einstein, or save up for the Pro Photo?
Okay, do I recommend getting Alien Bee, Einstein, or save up for the Pro Photo? I gotta be honest with you. I love my Pro Photo lights, but budget comes first. So if you need a light right away, I think the Alien Bees and the Einsteins are great lights. I've used them for years. I have them as a backup. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think they're great, and they're not paying me to say that. For durable, professional, sturdy, long-lasting, Pro Photo all the way. For sure. Okay, next question.
I have a question. Do you think it will be challenging for an older, more mature photographer to be successful in newborn photography?
Sure. So, do I think somebody who's older, would it be more challenging for them to be in newborn photography? No. You know why? Because you probably have more patience. Because one thing I've learned over the years is patience. I didn't have patience when I was younger. You know, I was always in such a rush to learn things and to do better and be better. You need patience, love, kindness, safety. These are the things you need. Knowledge is power. So yeah, I've had many people in my workshops. Every time I do a workshop, I have the young one, the young, you know, early 20s. And then I almost have like every age group. And then I have like 25 to 30, and then 30 to 35. And then I always have people that have kind of had a career and are on to their next career. In fact, the last workshop, I think half of my group were like trying to switch careers. And I think it was because in New York, it was fascinating. There were people that have went to school for, you know, law degrees and teachers. And I've met lots of people in many different degrees that then have decided that they were going to switch careers. So no, I don't think it's challenging. It goes back to the whole male-female thing. I don't like discrimination. I think that discrimination is up to you. I think it's up to how you perceive, your perception. I think that age doesn't matter. Look at Oprah. How old is Oprah? I don't even know. 60s, right? My mom is 82 and still working. I think that age doesn't matter. You've got patience. The only thing is, it might be hard to squat, so get a yoga ball. So if you're starting to get older and your knees are starting to hurt, your back's starting to hurt, better take a yoga or a Pilates class or get a yoga ball, because this isn't for the weak. This is like physical every day. We're like squatting, bending, and that's probably the biggest thing that I've found. But not just with older people. I get people in their 30s that have hurt their back too. But I think the physical is our only limitation with age. And so you got to just keep yourself in shape. And yeah, go for it. I mean, Ann Geddes. How old is Ann Geddes? She's still shooting newborns? I think she's like 70-something. We need to Google how old is Ann Geddes. She's still shooting newborns. Alex, did you tell me how old Ann Geddes is? She's still shooting newborns. Okay.
Maybe someone in chat can just post it.
Yeah, tell us how old Ann is, because she's still doing it. I'm going to do it till like they wheel me out. So, next question.
When can we have a workshop with you in Tampa, Florida, or Orlando?
Okay, I went to Orlando twice in 1 year. Didn't I go twice this year? I went Orlando and Miami. I've been twice in 1 year. So, Florida, sorry. You already got me twice in 1 year. I had to go somewhere else. Sorry. Next year. Next question.
Question is it a good idea to offer free maternity sessions for birthing centers to gift to their clients in hopes of booking them for a newborn shoot at full cost?
Sure, that's marketing. Someone's asking, is it okay to offer a free maternity session to the birthing centers in hope for the newborn session? Yeah, Marketing. I did a marketing podcast this morning, you guys. If you're in the Tiopan group, I did a marketing podcast. Listen to it. It's also on my, And get us is how much? 60. She's 16. She's rocking it. Age is a number. So, yeah, marketing. I'm all about marketing. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. Next question.
Somebody asked what the size of the umbrella is and where can you buy the umbrella?
Okay, that umbrella was Pro Photo, and Alex is going to get back to me on the size. I think it's 83 inches. I'm going to find out. Okay, next question.
Another quick question here. Where is it? Will you be doing a workshop in Toronto? If yes, thank you.
Not this year, unfortunately. I have one scheduled for Vancouver, and it is on the schedule, workshops.tiopanonline.com. Vancouver is open. Unfortunately, my schedule, I have to go to 6 countries and 7 states, and I'm at my capacity. I do have 3 children that will have to go back to school. They are coming. Evan is coming with me to China, and all 3 of them, including my husband, are coming with me to Paris. There are talks about me going over to Vienna or Slovakia, I think. But then when we come back from Paris, they have to go back to school. And this year I have kids in 3 different schools. 3. Oh, I don't even know how I'm going to get through that. So, and I do have dancer daughters. So I have to be careful in my schedule. I think 6 countries and 7 states in the next 3 months is good because I still have clients and I want to keep my clients. So, unfortunately, I will not be able to go to Toronto this year, but I'm already working on my 2018 schedule. Okay, next question.
Jennifer asked, what advice or tips would you give to a newbie photographer wanting to go into newborn photography?
Okay, my advice for a newbie photographer, you're just starting out, regardless of what age you are, whether you're male or female, and what country you're in, is get educated. That is number 1. Get educated, get legal, set up a real business, set up a business license, get insurance, and start taking classes and practicing and pick up your camera and shoot and just do it. It's like anything. You want to be a plumber? What do? You learn how to unclog a toilet. You watch a video, you take a class, you get bonded, you get insured. Same thing. Newborn photography is like any other business. Just because we're dealing with the tiniest people on the planet, it still needs to be legal, it still needs to be official, and it still needs to be a business. File your taxes, be a grown-up, I don't care how old you are, and treat it like a business and go for it. Don't let anyone tell you can't do it. And it's a lifelong learning process. You're not going to master every pose. Every baby is different. We were talking about this morning with my client. Every single newborn session that I walk into, I don't know how that baby's going to be. They could scream, they could cry, they could be sound asleep. Yesterday's baby cried, but still beautiful. Today's baby sound asleep, still beautiful. It's a journey, it's a process. So you can't control the baby. You can only control you and what you know in your education. Get educated on baby safety, learn about the anatomy of the baby, get help, get mentored. If you can't afford to go to an in-person workshop, there's tons of training online. I have bellybabyschool.com where I have tons of online training and you can see a lot of step-by-step videos. I also have free videos. There's so many different things that you can do to get educated, but you just got to do it. So I say do it and stay focused. Okay, and last few questions.
The umbrella is actually 64.
Ooh, the umbrella from Pro Photo is 64 inches. My other one from Einstein PLM was 86. So I do have an Einstein 86 PLM and a Pro Photo 63 inches. 64. Okay, any other questions?
So Liz is curious, would you be doing any workshops in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, Georgia? No. Sorry.
And on that same note, Dallas, Texas, or here?
I've been to Texas twice. So sorry. I've been to Texas twice. I was in Atlanta last year for the Baby Summit. And Florida twice. So unfortunately, I will not be going back to any of those states this year. Maybe next year. Okay, hold on. We're going to start wrapping it up.
Sorry, I turned something on by accident. Alright. Okay, hold on.
I know,
Where
we're
was it?
like,
What do you do when you get to a client's home and there isn't natural light in their home? Do you go outside or better to buy cheap lights from Walmart?
very good question. The question is, what do I do when I go to a client's home and there's no natural light? Do you buy cheap lights from Walmart or bring your own lights? I only go to a client's home with natural light. I don't bring lights anymore unless they ask. We actually just did a home session and they asked me to go get our lights. So we did do it. I go outside or I'm right by the door. There's a video I have on YouTube of a gorgeous baby, and we shot it in Brooklyn, New York. It was a client that hired me to shoot in their home because I travel to New York quite a lot. And I didn't know what her home looked like. So I walk in, and there's only this much space in the kitchen where the kitchen table was. I mean, it's Brooklyn. It was small. And I'm looking for the light. And the only light was a door. Like if I opened the door, there was a screen door and then a little window. And our entire session, well, 95% of our session, was in this little, probably 5x5 space by the window and by the door. And then we shot outside. Now, it was a beautiful warm day, so that's really tough in the winter. So I do ask my clients, if I'm doing an in-home session, I ask them to either send me pictures of their lighting at the brightest time of the day, or I try to talk to them over the phone. If there's any doubt, ask them to send you photos at the brightest time of day, usually high noon, in the brightest room. And if they tell you they have no natural light whatsoever, then you're going to have to bring lights. Then I would bring lights. Usually in every home, there's a window, unless they're living in a cave. There's a window somewhere. I've shot in the bathroom, the hallway, back porches. I've shot outside. I've shot everywhere. I've brought heaters outside. I find the lights because I hate lugging lights to clients' home. Okay, so we'll take just a couple more questions and then we're going to wrap it up.
So Stephanie asked, do you have any tips on how to find an assistant? How do you find them, and what do you look for when interviewing?
This is not a question for me. My number one problem, having assistants. Gosh, I had Tiffany for 10 years. Tiffany walked off the street and hired herself. And we were together 10 years. And I'm still devastated. I tell her all the time, come back. They moved to Bend, Oregon. And I still haven't recovered. That was September. Jeannie keeps telling me to get over it. She'll say, she's gone. Get over it. July? Oh, she left last July? It'll be a year. It's almost our year anniversary since she left me. She moved to Bend, Oregon, and nothing's been the same since. To all of my clients, I apologize. Ever since Tiffany left, my business has not been the same. My clients will tell you, where's Tiffany? It's not okay. I've been trying to replace Tiffany since July. I've been trying to replace her for a year, and I haven't found the right replacement yet. We're still working on it. But in all seriousness, I have other staff that are just as great. I actually recommend working with the local colleges and finding interns because it's a great way to start, and most interns need a certain number of credits to graduate, and so they can work for free. I think anywhere from 80 to 120 hours. So if you can get an intern that can work for free for whatever, if it's in a college, there's usually a requirement that they need to graduate. But if not, then I would suggest whoever you're bringing in have a trial basis. 30 days, 10 days. You need, my biggest advice with assistants, trial basis. You got to try them out and say, you know what, don't promise them a lifetime employment. Say, let's try it and let's try to work together, because it's like part of your family. I spend more time here sometimes than I do at home, and you're in this sweaty box. Well, I don't sweat, but they do. You're in this hot room and you're right up in your business, and you got to trust them to pick up the phone with your clients, and you got to trust them with your business, your livelihood, something that I've worked really hard to build my business. And so when you have an assistant that screws it up, it's really frustrating. And I've had that happen many, 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 many times. And it's my name that's going to get my butt kicked, not my assistant. I'm the one that's going to get yelled at. I'm the one that's going to take the fall. So there's a risk with assistants that if they mess it up, if they mess up a charge with a client, or they're rude to a client, or they mess up an order, you're taking the fall. It's your name on the door. You're going to go down. I go down all the time. I apologize on a daily basis to somebody. I'm always apologizing to somebody. So if I had to advise, I would say get an intern from a local college. Call them up. I'm a legal business looking to bring in an intern. Around here, Craigslist, Barefoot Student. There was another one. I can't remember. What are the other ones? There's another one. What is it? Monster. LinkedIn. I'm teaching a social media course online right now, and LinkedIn was our topic today. LinkedIn is the largest professional network in the world. And if you're not on LinkedIn, you should be. And if you're in my social media class, do your homework. And if you're not in my social media class, jump in, bellybabyschool.com. Yeah, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. A lot of people overlook LinkedIn, and it's a big professional network. So try before you buy. Try them out. Okay, we'll do 2 more questions because we started, it's almost an hour in our webinar. Or no, what are we doing? Our Q&A.
Okay. How do I know what to charge?
No, it's pricing. Can't do that today. We're not doing pricing today. Can't do pricing. How do I know what to charge? I'd have to sit you down. I'd have to go over your expenses, your cost of doing business. Are you working at home or in a studio? There's a long list you need of what to charge. I'd love to do that. I just can't do that. I wish I could. That's for mentoring, workshops. I do Skype mentoring, private mentoring. I'll be happy to do that. Live, I just can't do it.
So Mary asks, how do you advertise for models and how to choose applicants?
Okay, so I use all the social media tools, and I do have my own newsletter. Back to marketing again. We always go back to marketing again. If you don't have your own newsletter, you need to have your own newsletter. It's direct one-to-one communication with your client. I can't stress that enough. So when I'm doing a model call, I actually first ask my private network. I'm a big believer in going to friends and family. Ask your private network, and I reach out to them first. I have a bunch of people on text. I need this, I need that, and I start there. Then when I can't find anyone in my personal network, then I reach out via my newsletter and propagate through all social media. I do require that models send me their photo. I think that's important. Just like if you're hiring a modeling agency, they're going to want to see a photo. You need to know who you're working with. I believe that you need to set guidelines and set exact information. Why do you need the model? What are you offering the model? What does the model need to do? Are you using these images in web or print? I could do a whole Q&A on the modeling side. I used to shoot child models. When I left New York and came to California, I shot for agencies. And we were launching our own Belly Baby models a year ago. We put it on hold, and we're bringing it back. So we're going to have to save that for another time, except to say that use your personal network first, then social media. But be true, be fair. Set your guidelines. Give the model their images. I'm guilty of taking too long for that. Don't ask them to do too much. Pick just 1 or 2 things that they're doing. Okay. Sure.
Okay. This one just came in. How do you stay on top of workflow and not fall behind on timelines if, say, someone's pictures are due by a certain date?
We always fall behind. It's the story of my life. I actually just hired a new production person because I felt like we were getting too far behind. I have it in my contracts of how long orders take. It is written down in my contracts. And so you definitely need a strong timeline. Let your clients know retouching does take longer. That's always our issue. And I'm very big into time scheduling. So I schedule my time pretty strictly to the day. And that's, again, a whole other Q&A of life management, business scheduling, because I actually have a very strict process in how I manage my time and what I do when and how I delegate. And I wish I had time to go into that. All I'm going to tell you is you want to try to under-promise, over-deliver, something I struggle with every single day. And our production assistant that we just hired has been here 2 weeks now, and I told her we're finally feeling like we're going to catch up. But I think my biggest advice is if you're falling behind and you're not meeting your deadlines, you're going to start really pissing clients off. And I would hire somebody and start delegating or outsourcing, or there's no point in running a business. You're always going to be behind and upsetting somebody. Okay, last question. Vivian, you have one?
No, live video has ended for both of these, so
Oh, it ended?
for Facebook.
No, it should still be live.
It's weird.
Okay, Alex, we don't know if we ended or not. That's our clock going. It's done.
It
Okay.
should still be live for Facebook. I don't.
Okay, well, this is a good place
Okay.
to end.
Okay.
Okay, so see, our clocks are like, you guys are done. We're shutting you off. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was super fun. I think my face hurts from talking so much. How are you doing? You're good. We will, of course, let you know when we're going to have our next Q&A. Keep those questions coming because it fuels us for the next ones and helps us to continue educate and hopefully inspire all of you to just be a little bit better and do a little bit better every single day. My name is Anna Bradnt. This is Kimberly Winters. We say thank you for watching.